Okay, so you want to own a YouTube channel. Pick a topic you like, buy a camera, upload a video, get 1,000,000 views, and collect your AdSense check. Sounds like the last free business left on the internet, right? Here is what that actually looks like. The top 3% of channels earn over 90% of all YouTube ad revenue. The median channel with 10,000 subscribers makes a few $100s a month from ads. MrBeast spends $3 to $5 million on a single video, and his YouTube business reportedly lost $80 million in 2024. He is not losing money because his videos fail. He is losing money because the videos are not the business. They are customer acquisition. The real revenue comes from consumer brands, merchandise, and deals that sit behind the content. But the most counterintuitive part of this whole machine is that YouTube advertising is not where the money lives. It is what the industry calls a loss leader, a product you sell at a loss on purpose, just to get the customer in the door. The real profit comes from places viewers never see. Let me show you what actually makes money on this platform. You do not own a channel. What you own is an attention asset. YouTube owns the distribution. Think about what that means. You spend dozens of hours making a video, you upload it, and then a piece of software you will never meet, never call, and never negotiate with decides whether anyone sees it. Your viewers are not your customers. They are the product. YouTube packages their attention and sells it to advertisers, then hands you 55% of the ad revenue on long-form videos. If you make shorts, you get even less, just 45%. You have no inventory, no lease, no equipment worth losing sleep over. But you do have one invisible cost that is higher than almost any brick-and-mortar store, and that is your time. This is not a content business. This is a time bet. You trade hours for attention and attention for money. The problem is, only one of those trades is in your control. The cost of entry depends almost entirely on your production model, not on how much money you have. There are roughly 3 models, and they look nothing alike. The cheapest is a faceless channel. No camera, no studio, no face. Just a microphone, a script, and stock footage or illustrations layered over a voiceover. The equipment costs a couple $100s, and in 2026, AI tools have pushed per-video production costs even lower. AI voiceover services run about $5 to $30 a month. AI image generators cost roughly the same. If you lean heavily on these tools, your cash cost per video can drop to almost nothing. But there is a catch we will get to later. The real cost is time. Writing a script takes 8 to 15 hours. Editing and assembling the visuals takes another 5 to 10. That is 15 to 25 hours per video, and nobody is paying you for any of those hours until the algorithm decides your video is worth showing to people. The advantage of faceless is scale. You can run multiple channels at the same time because you are not the face of any of them. The second model is face on camera. Now you need a real setup: a decent camera, ring light or panel lights, a quality microphone, and a background that does not look like your laundry room. That equipment runs $3,000 to $15,000. Your per-video cost might be anywhere from a few hundred to several $1,000s, depending on whether you hire an editor or do it yourself. If you do everything solo, your cash cost drops close to zero, but your time cost explodes. You are looking at 50 to 80 hours per video when you factor in scripting, filming, editing, thumbnail design, and uploading. And there is a hidden cost that never shows up on any spreadsheet. Your face is the brand. You cannot outsource being yourself. You are the one part of this business that cannot be swapped out, which means if you burn out, the business stops. The third model is animation and high production. Think channels like Kurzgesagt. Now you need a full team. Animators run $3,000 to $8,000 a month. Editors cost another few thousand. You need researchers, fact-checkers, a sound designer. Kurzgesagt reportedly spends $55,000 to $110,000 per episode and pours roughly 1,200 labor hours into each one. But here is what nobody expects. The revenue per 1,000 views on an animation channel is roughly the same as a cheap, faceless voiceover channel. You can spend $100 grand making a video, and earn the same ad revenue as someone who spent $500. Production quality does not set the price. What the advertiser is willing to spend decides that. Across all of these models, the single biggest hidden cost is opportunity cost. That is just a way of saying the salary you would have earned doing literally anything else. Going full-time on YouTube for 2 years means foregoing $120,000 to $200,000 in wages you would have earned at a normal job. And the odds are stacked hard against you. Roughly 90% of all YouTube channels never even reach 1,000 subscribers, which is the bare minimum to enter the YouTube Partner Program and start earning a cut of ad revenue. The bar is also getting higher. Starting February 2027, the watch hour requirement to qualify for monetization doubles from 4,000 to 8,000 hours. You are not spending money to start this business. You are gambling time. And unlike money, you cannot earn time back. Now let's talk about the operating economics. We already covered the revenue split. YouTube keeps 45% of ad revenue, you keep 55%. But that split is not the biggest tax you pay. The biggest tax has no rate, no invoice, and no one you can complain to. It is algorithmic distribution. YouTube's recommendation engine decides who sees your video and who does not. You cannot call it. You cannot negotiate with it. You can buy ads to push a video, but ad views do not make the algorithm recommend you more. The organic feed, where over 70% of all YouTube views come from, is not for sale. Here is where it gets granular. There is a concept the industry tracks called RPM, which stands for Revenue Per Milla. It is simply how much money you, the creator, actually take home per 1,000 views, and it varies wildly depending on what your channel is about. If you run a gaming channel, your RPM is roughly $1 to $5. Lifestyle and beauty channels sit around $2 to $7. Tech and productivity can run anywhere from $8 to $25, and finance and business channels, the highest-paying niche on the platform, earn an RPM of $8 to $35. That means 2 channels can each get 1 million views, and the gaming channel earns maybe $3,000, while the finance channel earns $20,000. Same audience size, same effort, 7 times the revenue. And if you are making shorts instead of long form, your RPM across every single niche drops to pennies. We are talking 1 to 50 cents per 1,000 views. You do not choose how much a view is worth. The advertiser does. At some point, you hit a ceiling as a solo creator. There are only so many hours in a week, and every hour you spend editing is an hour you are not scripting the next video. So you hire. You bring on an editor for a few thousand a month, a thumbnail designer who charges $50 to $200 per image, maybe a research assistant for a couple thousand a month. Suddenly, your monthly overhead is $8,000 to $20,000. Your profit margin drops from around 90% as a solo creator to 30 or 40% as a team. You have gone from being a creator to being a manager. But your face and your voice are still the single bottleneck the whole operation depends on. You cannot promote yourself out of that job. And you are surrounded by ecosystem parasites. YouTube takes its 45% cut of ad revenue no matter what. Multi-channel networks, or MCNs, are companies that sign up young creators with promises of support, then take 10 to 30% of your revenue while delivering almost nothing. That is the classic early creator trap. Talent agencies handle your brand deals and take 15 to 20% off the top. Payment platforms like Patreon take 8 to 12% of your membership revenue. Everyone else in this chain gets paid whether your video performs or not. You only get paid if the algorithm decides to show it. So if ad revenue is a loss leader, where does the real margin come from? On a channel with 500,000 subscribers, AdSense typically accounts for only 30 to 40% of total income. The rest comes from 3 revenue lines that are almost invisible to the audience. The king is sponsorships. A brand pays you to mention their product for 30 to 60 seconds in your video. Your cost to deliver is basically nothing. You read a few sentences of copy. You keep almost all of it. The rates depend on your niche. A finance or B2B channel, meaning a channel that targets businesses rather than consumers, can charge $30 to $80 per 1,000 views. A lifestyle channel might get $15 to $25. For a mid-tier creator with a couple 100,000 subscribers, a single integration pays a flat fee of $1,500 to $10,000. But it comes with strings. Many contracts include exclusivity clauses that block you from working with any competitor for 30 to 90 days. Then there are courses and paid communities. This is your private island. You build the product once and sell it indefinitely. A typical online course sells for $200 to $2,000. Because you are selling through your own website, there is no YouTube cut, no platform fee beyond payment processing. You keep almost everything. The concept that makes this work is called an owned audience. Your email list is your private island. YouTube is someone else's port. If the algorithm changes tomorrow, every subscriber you have on YouTube might never see your videos again. But your email list is your own land. Nobody can take it away from you with a policy update. The third layer is merchandise, publishing, and licensing. Merch brings in $5 to $15 of profit per item. It is low margin per unit, but it turns the loyalty your audience already has into actual dollars. Book deals can land you an advance of $20,000 to $200,000 with long-tail royalties, and you can license your content or sell it to platforms in other countries. But owning this asset carries 4 risks that most new creators never think about until it is too late. An algorithm shift, demonetization, burnout, and a paradigm shift that is already underway. Let's start with the algorithm. In 2024, YouTube overhauled how it weights shorts in its recommendation engine. Long-form creators who had built their entire audience on 15-minute videos watched their traffic drop off a cliff overnight. Some niches saw their ad revenue cut in half the same week, not a slow decline, an overnight wipeout. The second risk is demonetization. YouTube's automated system flags one of your videos. You see a little yellow icon next to it, what creators call the yellow dollar sign. It means advertisers no longer want to run ads on that video. That video's revenue drops to 0. 3 community guideline strikes and your entire channel is permanently shut down. In 2024, Russell Brand's channel was suspended from monetization. Estimated annual loss? $1.2 million in ad revenue. Dr. Disrespect was demonetized the same year. He was restored 7 months later, but the 6-figure gap in income does not come back. The third risk is the burnout trap. Creator burnout is not a vacation you choose to take. It is a forced shutdown. Stop uploading for 1 month, and the algorithm quietly deprioritizes your channel. Getting back to your prior recommendation level takes 3 to 6 months of consistent daily or weekly uploads. Your channel is losing momentum while you rest. 0 revenue plus a massive recovery cost just to get back to where you were. The final risk is a paradigm shift that is happening right now. AI tools have pushed the cost of making a video toward 0. YouTube already sees over 500 hours of content uploaded every single minute, and AI is accelerating that number. In July 2026, YouTube executed a mass purge. They banned 16 AI-generated content farm channels that had a combined 35 million subscribers and 4.7 billion views, wiping out roughly $10 million in annual ad revenue overnight. Your competitor is no longer another person with a camera. It is an unlimited volume of machine-generated content flooding the platform, and it costs almost nothing to make. The industry calls this attention dilution. The supply of content grows without limit, but humans still only have 24 hours in a day. Every view you earn is getting harder to get. Let's run the math on a good year versus a bad year for the same channel. A 500,000 subscriber finance channel. In a good year, you upload 120 videos. They average about 150,000 views each, which gives you roughly 18 million total views across the year. At a finance niche RPM of $10, your AdSense comes in at around $180,000. You close 24 brand deals at an average of $12,000 each for another $288,000. Course sales bring in $120,000. Total gross revenue lands at roughly $588,000. Now the costs. Between your editor, your equipment, software subscriptions, freelancers, travel, self-employment tax, and health insurance, you are spending around $138,000 a year. That leaves you a net income of about $450,000. Sounds great. But you are working 55 hours a week, 52 weeks a year, because there is no such thing as paid time off when you are the business. That works out to an hourly rate of about $157. No 401k match, no employer health insurance. Every hour you do not work is an hour you do not earn. Now, the bad year. Same channel, same niche. The algorithm makes an adjustment mid-year and your average views drop to 80,000. AdSense falls to around $82,000. Sponsors tighten their budgets. You only close 14 deals at $7,000 each, bringing in $98,000. Your course hits fatigue. Repeat purchases dry up. Course revenue drops to $40,000. Gross revenue is now $220,000. But your costs do not care about your views. Your editor, your software, your insurance, they all still add up to $138,000. Net income drops to $82,000. Your hourly rate falls to about $28. That is less than your job paid before you quit to do this full time. The difference between the good year and the bad year is not effort. You worked the same hours. The algorithm just decided your content was less interesting this year. The channels that actually survive long-term share 3 specific traits. First, they distribute across multiple platforms. YouTube, a podcast, a newsletter, TikTok, X. They never hand 100% of their distribution to a single algorithm. If YouTube deprioritizes them tomorrow, they still have 5 other channels reaching their audience. Second, they own their audience. Their email list is the only way they can reach their audience that no algorithm controls. 100,000 email subscribers is worth more than 1 million YouTube subscribers when it comes to predictable income. Third, they systematize operations. They stop being the irreplaceable talent and start building a machine that runs without them. That system generates revenue while they sleep, while they travel, and, critically, while they recover from burnout. A YouTube channel is not a content business. It is an attention asset, highly leveraged. You pour in your time, and a machine you have no relationship with decides whether that time was worth anything. The camera is not the product. The editing is not the product. You are the product. And the real business was never the videos. It was building an audience you actually own, on ground that cannot be taken away by a platform update at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday.